Hi guys, okay, Blackie made a mistake and I want to help you avoid making that same mistake. Now, 3 years ago I got this Grayl. I got it from Randy Smith at StitchGear.com. I worked out a trade with him and ended up one because I thought this was a worthwhile product, and it has been. I've been very, very pleased. Now these ain't cheap. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Sawyers and stuff are much cheaper, but I like the way this functioned. How it was a carry-along water carrier and etc. And so I could process my water quickly and keep the water cool. That's a big thing down here in my south. For most of my career, I always had to boil water. But the problem with boiling water when it's 80 or 90 degrees like it is down here in the south, or even more, and you boil water and you put it in that stainless steel thing and you put it in the fire and you bring it to a boil and then you pull it out and you gotta go put it back in the water source and give it a half hour to cool down before it gets to where it's not just scalding hot water. It doesn't cool down fast enough to put in the canteen. Well, that is going to cut down on your travel time, because now between the time me realizing I need a water supply, I have to build a fire, then I have to boil the water, then I have to put the water back in to the water source in some sort of sealed up container in order to cool it back off to where it's drinkable. I've just wasted an hour of travel time. This gave me the ability to dip water right out of a cool stream, press it down, and have instantly drinkable water that I could turn around and fill up my canteen, etc. And in the past I always carried 2 canteens. Well, when I went to this system, I carried a belt canteen and I carried a Grayl. Because the Grayl, I could filter it, and it doesn't make quite a full quart. This big one doesn't, but it allowed me to fill up my canteen and then also have cold water for me to drink, where I could afford to sit here and drink until I was full, refill it up, repress it, put it back on the pack, and I had a good water supply. So that was my idea. And my very first filter I had with this lasted about 3 months, and that was it. And it's because my water down here in the south where I'm at in lower Alabama, red clay. And so you could filter it. Yes, it would filter it, but it plugged up the filter quickly. Now what Grayl tells you is it should take no more than 8 seconds to squeeze this down and press it through and have drinkable water. However, once it gets to where it's longer, like 30 seconds or so, that your filter's getting clogged and you need to change the filter. Well, my first filter, like I said, took about 3 months, and then it got to where it's taking a full minute. Well, time to replace. So I went to pre-filtering all my water through a millbank bag or my little Blackbird gathering bag that I use to filter the water in. And I've been able to stretch this filter out now for 3 years. But it's finally give up the ghost. At my recent event, is when I went down to the lake to filter this, and I went to press it through, and it took a full 45 seconds for me to press it through and fill this up. It wanted to squirt out around rather than filter through, and that told me finally it's give up the ghost. The way I store mine is full of water. I would bring it home, I would go into the sink, I would take up a thing of water, and I'd press 2 full presses through, and then I would leave it full of water to put it on the shelf. I don't know if that's the recommended, but that's what Blackie did. And it kept my filter moist, so it never dried out and got hard. And so for 3 years I've been able to use it, but it's finally give up the ghost. And so that was the last run of that filter. So I thought, hey, I'll just pop online and grab a filter. And so I popped online and I ordered a filter. And Blackie got the wrong filter. This one goes to the ultralight, and it's the smaller one than this one. So Blackie messed up. So what I did was I went to, this time instead of trying to go to Amazon, I went to South Reliance Outfitters, and they knew what they were doing, and I got the correct filter for it. So I'm going to be changing out this filter. But there are different size filters. Learn from my mistake and make sure you get the correct size filter. If you will simply look at those edge on, it's obvious that that's a much bigger filter, and it goes into here. This one is unopened, so I will take it to an event or something, find somebody that wants to horse trade or something for this. It'll go into my trade blanket. But another thing is I will still be pre-filtering. I've got 3 years worth of usage out of this. I don't even want to think how many gallons that is. Hundreds of gallons that I filtered with this. Not only have I taken this camping, have I taken it to events where me and my wife were going down into Florida, or one time we were going up into Ohio to filter the water up there that's coming out of the tap because it doesn't have a taste that's very palatable to us. And so filtering it through this made it a neutral, clean taste where we could, you know what I mean. When you travel around the country, you're going to find out water has a smell and a taste that the locals do not think is bad because they're used to it. But where I'm at, if I travel just 40 miles to the large city, I don't like to even get a drink with ice in it there because the water has a sulfur smell and taste to me, even though it's only 30 miles from my home. But if I go 45 miles west of me, their water tastes like it's got sugar in it to me. We call it sweet water, and I'll bring home that water every time I go to visit my friend. I bring a couple of gallons home for the mixing at the bar for the scotch and stuff like that. I like that water. So water makes a difference. So whatever system you're using, educate yourself to make sure what the correct cartridge is, or what it is, how long it's supposed to last, when should you change it. Educate yourself. I've got a lot of uses out of this, and I got nothing for praise for this. But due to my ignorance, I ended up with a $20-something filter that I can't use. That's all right. I'll find somebody that can use it. But get the right product. And once you do, write it down. Now what I'm going to do is figure out exactly how to tell this filter, and I'm going to find a way to put it on this. I'll probably take a scribe and scratch the number or something down here in the bottom so I will know exactly what to get next time. That's my little 2 cents worth. Hope you've enjoyed this content, guys. If so, please hit that like button before you go. I'd really appreciate it. Till next time, guys, I'm Blackie, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.